All right, welcome to the next episode of Tibalt's Apprentice. This is episode number 5, and I have Enrique back here with me again. Enrique, thank you for joining me yet
Thanks
again.
For having me.
And again, we're just going to pick a topic, and today's topic is what is best in life?
What is best in life?
What is best in? Let's start with what's best in life. Do you have an answer for that?
Let's see. The lamenting of women. Let's see.
What's best
in
in
other
life?
Stuff. Yeah.
To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentations of their women.
Yes.
Actually, what we're going to talk about though is what's best in a magic deck, and we're going to kind of pick up where we left off. With last week's show, which is...
I should totally know that quote.
You should. Exactly. I took a week to practice it. Anyhow, what's best in a magic deck? And you talked about something that you try to do for every magic deck, which is you go for card draw. You want that card draw in the deck.
Absolutely.
My criteria for setting up a deck is ideally I want to be able to deliver 20 points of damage in the first 5 turns.
Okay.
It doesn't always work out that way, but that is a perfect deck for me. But let's talk about card draw. So, do you have a deck with you?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I actually brought a deck.
Let's talk about that and maybe show me or tell me a little bit about what went into designing this.
All right. So, this deck was made around Mirrodin Besieged block.
Okay.
Return to Mirrodin.
Okay.
And so there's a lot of cards from that set, and basically it's a blue-black deck.
Right.
Dimir. And the focus is to basically kill your opponent with Infect.
I love that.
So, however, blue-black, kind of not as great as some of the other decks, like the green.
Well, I was going to say, generally, if you think Infect, you're thinking, or at least I think, green is what springs to mind.
Right. I don't have pump spells in that vein or anything like that. No, this deck plays more as a control build of Infect.
So you're layering your effects on there, basically.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And so it being blue-black, there's a lot of disruption.
Sure.
And more importantly, there's a lot of... I think there's a good amount of card draw in here.
Okay.
And so I personally think that the best thing you can do in Magic is to draw cards.
Okay.
Because drawing cards gives you options.
Options. Sure.
And options, options as far as how to deal with your opponent.
Right.
And essentially either tempo them out or control them out.
Right.
And so when you talk about aggro decks, aggro decks all have a common problem. They putter out if they're controlled quickly enough. Right. And so I'm trying to avoid that by... Yes, I play low-costed threats like little Necropede.
Okay.
I get in there for 1 Infect.
Okay.
And then essentially try to disrupt what my opponent is doing and get in for hopefully 10 more damage. Or 9 more damage.
9 more damage after that. All right.
Okay. And so to do that, I have to draw cards. And so, once again, I built this deck during that block, and I have 2 cards in particular that I like to use. One is Preordain. Scry 2, then draw a card.
Awesome.
And so it's great to see what you're going to draw into. If you don't like the first 2 cards you see, pitch them to the bottom, get the next card. Hopefully it's what you want.
Right.
And the next spell is Foresee. And Foresee is 4 mana cost, 3 generic, 1 blue. and it's scry 4, then draw 2 cards. That's if you really want to dig in and find some answers.
Right.
And so my deck, leans heavily on those 2 cards to get to answers.
Okay.
I think I have a whole playset in each of each card in here.
So when you build those, do you worry about how do you smooth out your mana? Now you said you've got lots of low casting cost cards. Do you look at your mana ratio when you're building your deck? Do you automatically put 24 land? Do you start with 18? What do you do?
Well, I tend to look at my highest mana cost. And the highest mana cost I have in this deck is a spell called Corrupted Conscience.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that one.
Yes. And so Corrupted Conscience reads 3 generic, 2 blue, enchant creature you control, enchanted creature. An enchanted creature has infect.
Nice.
So if your opponent is using big fatty
if somebody's got something better than you, then you take it,
swipe it, and smack them for hopefully 10.
Fair enough. All right. So it'll be interesting because while we're still determining our format here for what we're doing at this point, I'm focusing on kitchen table stuff. And the way we play just tends to be random and just so on. So after this, we'll play this. We'll play this against a, I guess it would be a standard deck that I'm playing.
Oh, okay.
That my goal, of course, is to 20 damage in the first
turns.
4 turns.
Oh, boy.
Well, that's on a good day. But you did bring up one point, which luckily, or I'm hoping that this deck will address. And it's a couple of cards that are current right now, such as Light Up the Stage.
Such a good card.
Risk Factor.
It's ridiculous.
And, also the Runaway Steam Kiln. Because like you said, you actually that Steam Kiln to really work well needs an Experimental Frenzy on the table to help give it that gas that it needs to hopefully pull out the finish. Now, we've talked a little bit about, or at least I have talked about the fact that I'm trying so hard for Mythic. I've gotten 85% of the way there. At this point, everybody has seen this deck, and I'm having a tough time getting for Diamond 2. So I'm partway there. Diamond 2 is about the highest I've got, and then went right back down to Diamond 4. So I'm working on getting up there a little bit higher. But I think that this is the main thing that I've learned, though, is, like you said, you've got to get past that point of just running out of gas. And luckily, this can get past that point. But you bring up a good thing that I plan on studying and working on, which is in my research. And by research, I mean playing obscene amounts of Arena.
It's the best research ever.
Exactly. There is no substitute for playing. And ideally, like I said, I love the Arena just because it gives me a chance to play with cards. I mean, I used to go out and buy ridiculous numbers of, I still do, but I buy ridiculous numbers of boxes and open them all. Now I buy ridiculous numbers of boxes and save them. And we'll see how that goes. But anyhow, it would keep me opening up boxes, trying out things that would work, what doesn't, or whatever and stuff. Now there's enough resources that you can net deck, you can find what you want, or what works for other people. But still, that's no substitute for how you're going to use it.
Right.
So Arena has allowed me to concentrate and focus on the cards that I like, the cards that work, and that buy those. We've said this before, or I think we have. If nothing else, we'll say it again. Now, remember to always shop local when you can. Keep the local game stores available, or keep them rather, I mean, you may not have one in your area, but let's keep those afloat that you do have that you can go to.
Absolutely.
We're here at Manhattan Beach, here in California, and we're at Game Hub.
Yes.
And Comic Bug, which is right next door, which is, you saw us filming at also. So thanks to them for letting us be here. At any rate, I was starting to say the thing that sparked me to think about was my decks need a secondary.
Like a
A
secondary win
strategy, a secondary win condition, exactly. I don't think I have one in this deck. So I think I'm going to have to burn you out really fast, or
It's a full tilt red deck.
full tilt, balls to the wall.
Yep.
Let's see what we have. At any rate, thanks for watching this. If you choose to spend some more time here, there will be a link to us playing head-to-head with control card draw against straight-out aggro.
Yes.
All right.
May the best deck win.
May my deck win. Thank you.